Welcome to Cook the Garden Podcast, your weekly audio source for delicious and easy garden fresh recipes and growing tips. I'm your host, Ginain Grays. Let's cook the garden. Hey garden foodies, welcome back to this week's episode of Cook the Garden. It's just me today, guys. I'm flying solo. And, it's been some time since I've given you all an update on my garden, what's going on, what am I growing. And I have to admit, my garden has seen better days. So I'll get a little bit more into that. Many of you know that I'm in Florida. We're now gearing up for that exciting transition from scorching hot summers to at least more tolerable winter and fall and winter here. So I'm really looking forward to it. Like many Floridians, this is the time where we start getting really excited. But, let me tell you, it hasn't been an easy journey for me, for my garden this year. This has been, especially this past summer, has been very, very, very hot with the scorching temperatures. I didn't have much going on. I typically don't have much going on in my garden anyway around the summertime. But this year, with these extreme temperatures, it's been really, really bad. So I've been able to harvest a few things. I had a ton of okra, which I have blanched a lot of it, and I put in the freezer, and a lot of that will obviously go into my stews and soups, but a lot of that is definitely going to go in my husband's famous New Year's gumbo. It's absolutely amazing. We look forward to it every year, and I will actually put the link to that recipe in my show notes if anyone's interested in that. So I had quite a bit of okra. I also made some okra powder. Definitely check out my Instagram at Cook the Garden. And I kind of give you a little sneak peek into how to make okra powder. And actually, I absolutely love it. So anyhow, going back, so I had a lot of okra. I also had quite a bit of peppers. My peppers did really well. And my sugar baby melons did really well. Also, as far as my tomatoes, my summer squash, yeah, they did not fare well at all this summer. And, like I said, that was kind of all I had going on. I didn't have much. Um, you know, to be honest, it's been a really, really hectic summer. And actually, even before that, spring. I had all of these plans, to get this garden going. And, I had some new beds that we created. I was going to grow my garden space, and none of that happened. Life was just lifing, guys. I've got teenagers with busy schedules. I have a full career, all good stuff, but it's been, quite a whirlwind. And my garden, well, it's gotten pretty neglected over the past couple months. But I always say that's okay. That is perfectly okay. I want to share with you my journey, and there are highs and there are lows when it comes to gardening. And I know a lot of you can probably relate to that. So, sometimes life gets in the way of our gardening plans, and I just want you to know that it's perfectly normal. That's perfectly okay. It's important that, we keep moving on, keep moving forward, and don't give up. So with that being said, if you're wondering, okay, Ginain, where do you go from here? I know where I'll be going. I will be headed to my local nursery to pick up some starter plants. Just to kickstart my fall garden. I have some seeds as well that I'll be planting. I actually started planting some already. My friend gifted me squash seeds, specifically native Taino squash. And I've started, I sowed those a few weeks ago and they're looking so beautiful and healthy. So I'm really, really excited about that. Um, but I will be visiting my local nursery to pick up some plants. I plan on, starting some greens, collards, of course, kale, turnip, um, of course, some hardy brassicas, cabbages, cauliflower, broccoli. I can't wait. I'm so so excited. I've also I have a surplus of mustard seeds from last season that I'm eager to sow. So I'm really, really excited about that. And several of my plants that didn't make it this summer, and like I mentioned earlier, um, my garden beds are pretty neglected. Several of those that have, gone to seed, I'm actually able to harvest so many seeds. So that's the plus side of it. Yeah, my garden beds, they're looking a mess right now. Um, but just knowing that it's still producing, I'll still be able to use these seeds and that's the beauty, of gardening. That's the beauty of it. So it's nothing ever really dies. It just continues to give and give and give. And so that's just, like I said, that's just the beauty of this whole process and this whole journey. As far as my garden beds, a couple of my beds actually, like I mentioned, they've been neglected. I've got some that have been overrun by weeds, wild plants, but um, I won't let that discourage me. We all face setbacks in our gardens, and that's how you learn, right? So earlier this year, my husband and I actually did manage to build two additional 4x4 garden beds with some wood that we actually initially purchased for a project that we were planning on taking on, and the project never did pan out. So we decided to repurpose that wood. And we built these beautiful garden beds, two 4x4 really nice garden beds. So I'm ready to plant in those babies, to use them and expand my gardening area a little bit. So that's something I'm really excited about. So here's an encouraging word for anyone out there who might be struggling to maintain or even start your gardens. It's, like I mentioned, a journey. I'm going to say that word. I know I've been saying that word quite a bit in this episode, but it truly is. A garden isn't just about the destination, right? It's about the process, it's the learning, it's the joy of watching something beautiful and delicious grow right there, from your efforts. And I just want to remind you, don't be too hard on yourself. And remember that every little step is a victory. And every little step forward, every little veggie or fruit that you grow, every learning experience, every plant that goes to seed, everything, it's all a step forward, and consider it a victory either way. So, speaking of victories, I want to share something truly exciting. I've been a little bit more intentional about being more sustainable in my garden and in my kitchen, and in my cooking practices. I'm all about avoiding waste and making the most of what I have. And so that's why I'm introducing a new series called Scrappy Kitchen. In this series, I'll be sharing creative ways to repurpose your kitchen scraps and to reduce waste overall. So, whether it's using vegetable peels to make your own broths, or turning your coffee grounds into compost, or just finding innovative and creative ways to use your leftovers, I'm on a mission to make every part of your kitchen and garden count. I hope you'll join me on this journey towards a more sustainable and eco friendly lifestyle. Do you have any no waste practices you love? Share them with me. Share them with our community. If you're not connected on social media yet, definitely make sure to follow me on Instagram at Cook the Garden. And don't forget to join our fantastic community. We have a Facebook group called Cook the Garden Cooking and Gardening Tips. And that's where we continue these conversations and, just connect with other like minded individuals who love gardening and they love cooking as well. So, definitely an amazing community of garden foodies just like you. Well, that's going to be all for me today, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, it's okay to take small steps or take some time away from the garden. Your garden will always be there to welcome you back. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes and have a blessed week. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Cook the Garden. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. As a new podcast, it really helps to add value while growing our awesome community. As always, I really appreciate it. Until next time, friends, keep slaying those garden fresh recipes.